Not so long ago, I hated cooking. And then Laura happened. Who am I? Well, my name is Ruta and I'm a Lithuanian currently living in Iran. I know! Every day, one by one, I'm gonna try every recipe of Laura, starting from the very beginning. Come, join me on my challenge. Let's go! Hi everyone! My name is Ruta and welcome to the 250th day of my challenge where I'm gonna try a recipe which I was so happy one of you suggested me to try, because when I watched it for the first time I was like, oh my god, this looks so good! But it will take forever until I reach those episodes of Laura in the Kitchen, because it's like well into the 1000, like 1100 something, and I'm like around 200. Well, you know, it's not like it's little, it means that's how many recipes I've tried, but like that soup, that one pot lasagna soup looked so awesome. So Matthew, I'm really grateful. I'm so happy about this recipe. But before we go into the ingredients, I actually want to mention a couple of them. The first one is ricotta. Now, if you've been with me for quite some time, you know that my thing is kind of like making substitutions or homemade stuff, just because where I'm currently living, I cannot really find, well, quite a lot of ingredients which are called in Laura's recipes, ricotta included. So it was a really amazing day when I realized that these things, like actually pretty much anything you can make at home. It was that kind of moment, not gonna lie. So ricotta, you're gonna see among the ingredients is made by moi. So if you're also in a similar situation where you cannot find it, or you're curious how can one make ricotta at home, just check the description box down below. I will try to find the video where I'm trying to make it for the first time in front of the camera and leave the link there. Then what was the other ingredient? Oh, Italian seasoning. And I'm almost kind of going to the whispering mode because I'm gonna use also, like, I pre-made it and I used the I'm so excited. I'm so bad. I know I shouldn't be doing this, but I just want to share it. I made it from the recipe from Laura in the Kitchen cookbook. So if you don't have that book yet, and I'm assuming you're as huge of Laura in the Kitchen fan as I am if you're watching my video, so if you don't have the cookbook yet, I would highly suggest you get it. But until it comes, and if you have like feeling that you really want to make Italian seasoning yourself, just check the description box. I will leave the little insert in the written recipe how to make one yourself. And then, oh, this guy. Okay, so this recipe calls for tomato sauce. I felt like I had an idea what it is. I might be wrong, I didn't really Google it. I feel like tomato sauce is kind of like a more natural ketchup, like not ketchup for sure, but something still like on the ketchup side. And I was so certain that I will find tomato sauce here, just because these cultures, they love tomatoey foods, tomatoey sauces. So like literally you go and they have aisles and aisles of tomato paste and different kinds of different, I don't know, like shapes and forms of it. And I was really surprised when I couldn't find anything like which would say tomato sauce. I literally thought I will see a can or a jar or whatever and it will say tomato sauce. And when I couldn't, I was like, oh my god, what should I do? I'm sure I could find a recipe how to make your own homemade tomato sauce, but as I didn't expect not to find it, I thought, okay, I'll just buy something which is kind of looking similar. So I'm gonna use this instead of tomato sauce, which is, I feel, very far from a tomato sauce. It's chili and garlic sauce, and on the bottom it says Thai. which basically means I tried it. It's a little bit spicy, and by little for me, I mean a lot. It's really spicy. My husband is gonna love the soup. I hope I will be able to eat it, but yeah, well, in the end of the day, we will see whether you can substitute tomato sauce with something like this. And another thing, I'm really hoping that everything will fit in this largest pot I own currently, which is not that big, but I have a plan what I will do if it doesn't fit. And the last thing, please, when you watch the ingredients and when you see that sad looking basil, don't laugh and don't talk bad about it, okay? Because currently it's not the season for basil, which basically means in the city I'm living currently, when something is not in season, you cannot find it anywhere. So me actually spotting some basil in this little forgotten shop was a miracle, and I'm like, I could dance from happiness because I haven't had basil for months already, and it's like such a big deal. I know it looks sad, but hey, it's basil in winter, so I'm happy. Be happy for me. So now thank you so much for listening to this long intro. If you haven't pushed either of those, you're a true fan of me, I gather. So now let's go over all the ingredients and let's get started. We're gonna need 500 grams of ground beef, 1.7 liters of beef stock, 400 grams of diced tomatoes, 400 grams of tomato sauce, 250 grams of lasagna noodles, broken up into bite-sized pieces, 40 grams of freshly grated Parmesan, 1 onion chopped, 3 cloves of garlic grated, 1 tablespoon of olive oil, 1 tablespoon of Italian seasoning, a few leaves of fresh basil, and salt and pepper. And for serving, we're gonna need 120 grams of ricotta, some mozzarella, shredded, and a little bit more of Parmesan. Okay, Pot, don't let me down. I'm looking at all of the ingredients and I'm having a bad feeling, but let's start with my largest pot. To it, I'm gonna add my olive oil, preheated over medium-high heat, and once the oil is very hot, you always basically want hot oil to start with, I'm gonna add my beef together with the onion. I'm gonna season everything with salt and pepper and then cook for 8 minutes. Interesting. When you look like this, it kind of looks like there's stuff on the bottom, but when you move it around, you can't really see that much. Because at this moment, Laura said if you have any fat, you should discard it if your beef is fatty, but I feel like it's just, is it the fat? Let's look. Okay, now I totally don't know. Is this the fat or is this just like water of the beef? Should I discard it? Okay, let me contemplate on that for a second. Okay, I feel like this is the fat. Let me discard it. That's so cool that the meat and onions are helping me. They're like totally staying there. I'm not really moving. Okay, so if this is fat, which I'm not sure, but I guess it is, I removed quite a lot of it. Okay, so now to this non-fatty mixture, I'm gonna add grated garlic. I'm gonna cook it for 30 seconds. Perfect. So now, in line to go to the pot are the diced tomatoes, the tomato kinda sauce, I guess, Italian seasoning, beef stock. I'm gonna add everything here. I think I will leave this to the very end just to see whether it will all fit. And then I'm gonna bring everything to a boil. Once boiling, reduce the heat to medium and then let it cook for 20 minutes. Oh my god! excitement and happiness are real. Everything fit, yay! This is how the things are looking after 20 minutes. I have to admit, smells awesome. So now I'm gonna add in my lasagna noodles and cook for 10 more minutes. Alrighty, my noodles are done, so now the time for the heat to go off and then for the miracle basil to go in along with the Parmesan. And now this would be the time to taste test and adjust the seasoning. I'm pretty sure I'm covered in that department, so I'll just stick to basil and Parmesan and just mix everything in. And now for the most fun part ever, and I'm not gonna change a thing. I'm gonna do exactly what Laura did just because it looked really fun and super tasty. So the serving will happen in the individual bowl. You will do that for each bowl separately, not directly into the pot, just so that it's easier for you to reheat the soup later and make the exact same serving again. So after I put some soup here, I'm gonna sprinkle over the top some mozzarella. I'll put a dollop of my ricotta, which I don't know if dollop is the right word just because my ricotta is not as, well, liquidy as Laura's. So some ricotta, then a little bit more grating of Parmesan, and that, my friend, will be lasagna soup. But my neighbor's son is playing the piano right now and I love it so much. I totally don't mind it being in my video. I mean, eating lasagna soup while listening to classical music. Did I take all of the cheeses? I'm really nervous though. I think it will be so spicy. So here goes nothing. It's tasty! It's so good! Oh my god! Oh my god! This is cheap. Okay. I'm accepting the fact that I'm completely embarrassing myself, but oh my god! Oh my god! Okay, would you mind if I took a third, like, ginormous bite? This is so good. It is a little bit spicy, but like nothing I couldn't handle. So if you cannot really find tomato sauce, whatever that is, I will finish my thought, but I think you already know it. Okay, I'll have my dinner on my own for now. If you cannot find the tomato sauce, whatever that is, you can definitely use some other tomatoey product. I wouldn't suggest ketchup. I don't think it would fit here whatsoever. I mean, it's not the product to use in such cases, I feel like. But also, I think while I was cooking, I got this idea that I could have actually used just tomato puree. I mean, why not? Tomato sauce, tomato puree. I really should Google what tomato sauce is. But anyway, this is so cool. This is everything I expected and more. It's so flavorful. Eating lasagna like this is like the most fun thing ever. Okay, one noodle. Ruta, I shouldn't do this. Great recipe. Great. And actually, it's really quick, minus the fact that I made my cheese and my own spice blend. Everything else you just take out kind of like from the can. You put the meat. The only chopping there is actually, it's like onion and the garlic. Yeah, like washing a few leaves of basil. I mean, that's nothing. This is a great, quick, tasty, filling, like amazing recipe. I'm so happy. I have a feeling this will be one of my favorites. And I cannot stop looking at it. It looks so fun, inviting, so cool. And like really when you pull, I don't know, I feel like I could totally put more mozzarella, but really like there's that pull. So if you want, you can check the original recipe by Laura there. Check the description box down below for the written recipe, which you will find in both American and the metric systems, whichever one you're using. You will find it there with all the measurements and whatnot, in addition to how to make your own ricotta and Italian seasoning, but don't tell Laura. And that's everything. I really hope that this was fun and helpful. If you were eyeing this recipe, and I'm like showing to the pot, I shouldn't here, then definitely give it a try. I'm pretty sure you're gonna be as obsessed with it as I am. Like, look at me, I cannot stop staring at it. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you soon. Bye!